Bucket of balls. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for that intro again. Welcome, folks. Welcome to Fantasy Golf TV with Jeff Deal, your host here for the last or the first week of our second session in TGD TV Radio's Fantasy Golf here on the TGD Radio TV in your from your Zeus Digital Network. Brian, I think Brian is on the Skyping in right now. Brian, are you with us?
I am, Jeff. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. I know you're so busy. I say it all week that I appreciate you coming on, and I really do appreciate it. I know everybody in Myrtle Beach is busy right now, and so I really appreciate you taking the time out.
No worries, buddy.
And congratulations. You did good last week. You beat me in terms of the weekly prize, but we did not get enough to win that winter segment, which ended last week with the Puerto Rican Open and Tony Finau winning that. But you did good. You came in like third or something for the weekly prize, so pretty good.
Yeah. I was last couple of weeks. I finally got my act together. Like I know what I'm doing. So I was pretty excited moving forward into the spring session with the Shell Houston Open this week, the Masters. Now it's starting to get serious. So
yeah, it is. It's and I was looking at that and looking at my team for this week. I've only used, and we talked about it I think 2 weeks ago. I've only used Jordan Spieth twice, so I've really got him lined up. Although he's not playing as well this year as he did last year, so I don't know what I'm going to do. And with that said, I think I'm going to plug him into an opening spot at the Shell Houston Open this week. I know he's playing and he's getting groomed for the Masters, and it's a great venue for him to do that. So I think I'm going to use him and plug him in for this week.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. As you said on top of the show, I'm busy. I haven't even looked at this week's field yet, so I really have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'll be figuring it out as we go.
Well, and it's
here through the show.
It is hard. Last week you had two events. You had the WGC, the match play, which was great, by the way. It was a holiday week, and I was very busy. I didn't get to see much golf at all. I did a lot of research this morning only for the first time to get ready for the show, but not enough. Obviously, I'm not ready to pick my team to get ready for the Shell and then to move into the Masters week. But you had two tournaments going on. You had the Puerto Rican Open, where you had most of the PGA Tour playing, and then you had the top 60 or so playing in the WGC to trying to prepare themselves for the Masters. And both events were great in their own right, considering what I've read. They were very good, close, a lot of good competition. Good to see Tony Finau break through and get his first PGA Tour win. It was good to see. We've talked about him enough on this show, and I think he was due. And we did. We talked about it last week where we both had him on our team. Now, you could not. He was one of only three players in the A group to pick for fantasy, but it was good to see him break through and win.
It was. In the A group, it was easy to pick him with only three people, but so I'm sure a lot of people had him on their roster. But it was good to see him, and I normally don't like to pick a guy the very next week after getting his first win, but I don't know that I wouldn't consider him this week.
No, and I agree with that. I really do. WGC, that'll sharpen your skills both physically and mentally. I like that. And then you got the Shell Houston Open, where one of their claims to fame is, and they've accepted the fact that they are kind of the dress rehearsal for the Masters, and they try to set their golf course up accordingly to give the players, to invite the players, hey, do a practice round with us. It's competition, you get money, and so they really do a good job. I think the venue, they do a good job there at the Shell Houston Open.
Hence the likes of Ricky Fowler, Phil Mickelson, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson, Sergio Garcia, all in the field. And that's just running off the top 5 or 6 in the A list.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I didn't even look at the list yet, but look at the past champions of this event, and they're all good players that normally you'd think, why aren't they taking a practice round at Augusta and getting ready for that? But the way they set the golf course up at Houston Country Club is really a testament to what they want to do to be that I think they've accepted the fact that it's a tough spot. If you're going to hold the tournament, it's not a good week to hold a tournament, but they really do set the golf course up, and the players kind of flock to it, and they know they're in for it if they putt well. And
that's why they've done it.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, off the top, I couldn't agree more. They know their place on the schedule. So the reason guys even like going there is because it's very similar to Augusta. So, and there are guys, let's face it, guys like to get to venues in advance and practice for the major sometimes, and other guys like to play the week before.
Yeah.
Mickelson's forever been a guy that feels he's better off playing than he is getting to a venue earlier and just practicing.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. Other guys, Tiger historically, Nicklaus historically had to, wanted to get to a venue early, check it out, look at it. There's plenty of other guys that feel that way as well. Rory's that kind of guy, but some guys like to play. Spieth, so far in his young career, has shown that he likes to play.
Yeah. And I like that too. I really do. And like I said, they do a good job at trying to replicate. You can't cut and paste Augusta National, that's for sure. But the objectives are there on what you need to look for. So in researching, folks, when you pick your teams for the Shell Houston Open, who are you going to put on your teams? Obviously, putting. And really, but the number one stat I think you need to look at is greens and regulation. If you hit good shots, and Phil Mickelson has said this year after year, that's why he always plays it. One of his favorite venues is the golf club in Houston, because he says if you hit good shots, you're rewarded, and he loves that. If you hit a good shot, you're rewarded. Unlike Chambers Bay and a lot of those quirky courses that they're coming up with now, God forbid it runs off in some swale. You thought you had a pretty good shot, but there you are sitting in some ditch somewhere. So and that's why I think Phil likes it so much. And that's I've set my team. He is not on it yet, but in my head over the past couple of hours getting ready for this show, I think I'm going to put him on. He's just a horse for that course.
Who's that?
Phil Mickelson.
Phil, this week I think so.
And
I really do.
I'm going to bring my our team up here just to see. I don't even know how many times I've used Phil yet this year. But anyway, hey, listen, just a real quick recap here for our league. Brian, you came back a little bit the last couple of weeks, but you're still down in the pack. You're still struggling a little bit in 14th place. But again, out of all these people, you still got a shot. You've got 24 weeks left now for that big prize at the end. So
I'm right where I want to be.
The funny thing is, though, I can't figure out why I've been in 5th place for like 5 weeks. I cannot move. I'm moving with the leaders, and I'm just like an ebb and tide right here. I'm just like not staying. I'm not gaining any ground. But
that's because everybody's scoring about the same.
Yeah, and we probably have picked the same players to try and maintain that. But with that said, this past week I did go a little outside the box in a couple of my picks, and although they did get the same amount of points as the winners did, Shank Myrtle Beach, our great friends Frank Coughlin and his wife Shan have won our first segment. They
did.
They have a total of 1,929 points, which is very good. That's very respectable. I was looking at a lot of the expert websites out there that I get information from, and these guys don't have that many points. So I'm stuck in 5th. I've got 1,852, and Brian, you're down with 1,760. Again, you're right there. It's only one really good week, one really bad week, and you're right back in it. So congratulations to all of us. We've had a pretty good first session, 3 sessions in our league, and it starts with the Shell Houston Open. Again, horses for the courses. Who you're going to put on your team? I got some stats for everybody. We have. I like JB Holmes. Obviously, he's defending champion, but he plays well. He's got 5 of 6 cuts made here. He's got 3 top 10s. He's won his best finish. His low round is 64, and he averages 70.14 in terms of score, which is very respectable on this particular track, par 72.
Yeah, I like JB as well this week. Another guy I like is Louis Oosthuizen, coming off of his second place finish at the WGC. He's got 2 top 10s. His best finish is a 3rd place.
Yeah.
At this event as well. So he's another guy, and he's actually in the C list, which is interesting. when you find a guy who's got that kind of history in that part of the list. But not only do you look at that, then you start looking at guys, not only with history, but now we're to the time of the season where guys are getting their game in shape for Augusta, and how does it look?
Yeah.
How are they rounding out? How are they shaping up? Even if maybe historically they haven't done well at the Shell Houston Open, but over the last handful of weeks, how have they done?
Right.
If you look over the last month in that A list, guys that have done well, a lot of these guys on the A list haven't even played a whole lot, except Tony Finau. Spieth's played a couple of times. He's got 2 top 20s. Dustin, some of these guys haven't even played much in the last month. They've been taking their time, taking their rest, getting ready for, this next run.
Right.
This week, next week, then, you get into May, then you get the players, and, they've been saving it up. I think another guy on the A list would be a good look at this week besides Phil and Spieth, like we've already talked about. I think Ricky Fowler this week.
Yeah, he's got some good stats here. He's playing really well. I really like Ricky. I think I like this venue for him. But one guy there, I was looking at some of the list, and it's the beginning of our second segment. So to win this segment, we're in our first week out of 12. So obviously we had talked about a couple of weeks ago, do you use Spieth yet? And I was going to use him a couple of weeks ago, and I decided not to. I'm trying to save him. Obviously you got the 4 majors. I can only use him 8 times the rest of the year. You got the 4 majors. You got the Tour Championship, down the FedEx Cup playoffs. So when do you want to use him? I think I'm going to use him this. I want to get off to a good start. But I am going to throw a couple of sleepers out there. And one of the guys I was looking at, Cameron Tringale, is one of the sleepers I was looking at. I was looking at his stats. He's made 5 out of 5 cuts here at the Shell Houston Open. He's got 3 top 3s, and his best finish has been 4th. In his low round, he shot 65 last year in one of the rounds. So I really, really like him as a sleeper. But here's a guy another sleeper that I need your opinion on. Nobody's talked about him. He is just off the radar. Hunter Mahan normally plays well at Augusta. We're 2 weeks away from it. He's got a little warm-up tournament here beforehand. He's made 7 of 10 cuts here at the Shell.
He's won.
He's got 4 top 4s, and he's won. And he's won the event. He's got a low round of 65 at this venue. So, and nobody's going to put him on their team. And this is one of those things, strategy-wise, that I'm thinking about. Is this the week to do it? It's the Shell Open. It's the week before Augusta. I won't probably use him at Augusta, but I know he's trying to gear his game up for Augusta, and it's a good venue to do it.
Absolutely. And obviously guys are going to be leaning towards Ricky and Jordan or Sergio, or maybe even riding the Tony Finau wave again this week.
Right.
But Hunter is not a bad pick, especially if you're trying to go a different angle than a lot of other people are going to go.
Yeah, I did this past week for the Puerto Rican Open, and it just kept me in 5th place, and I'm only less than 90 points away from the leaders, so I'm actually in pretty good shape. But still, I thought by just picking a couple of sleepers, I thought I'd be able to gain a little ground if they played well, and they got the same amount of points as the top players that everybody else picked. So
this week was this past week in Puerto Rico was tough because when you get into a field where there aren't a lot of big names, it tends that everybody starts picking the same people.
Right.
Even though there's a million ways you could go, it still turns out people end up going with the safe. It's hard to, as much as you think you want to try a flyer, people aren't trying a flyer.
Right.
I don't know any other way to put it, but that's, so we'll see.
Well, folks, contact us, facebook.com/fantasygolftv. You can tweet us at fantasygolftv. My Twitter handle is at jdeal268. Check out our website as well, fantasygolftv.com. Everything is produced here through the Zeus Digital Network. TGT TV radio. So we've got some great leagues, folks. You can join our league anytime. You can go on to yahoo.com and click on Fantasy Golf. And then you could do a search, and you search TGD TV League. Our group ID, you put in a group ID of 3189, and just join our league, get a team. It's not going to cost you anything at first. And let's have some fun. See if you can beat some of the gurus here. Brian, so let's just go over the 8 players real quick. And I know you said you haven't even looked at it, but who's one guy that sticks out at you?
I think I'm taking Phil this week for sure.
Yeah.
For a lot of the reasons you said, I've been thinking about that since it went on. He has historically played well here. His game's been really good so far this year.
Yep. Last year he came out of the block shooting 66. So
yeah, his game's been pretty solid. I'm excited to see what he can do at Augusta, because let's face it, Phil in contention at Augusta, doesn't even matter who else is
right.
going to make it exciting.
Yeah.
But could you imagine the way they've been playing? Think about it. The way they've been playing, it looks like you're going to have Phil, you're going to have Jason Day,
yeah,
you're going to have Ricky, you're going to have Bubba.
Yep. I hope Jordan's in there too. I really
hope,
do.
but I mean, just based on the way they've been playing, you're going to have those 4 guys probably in the mix.
Yep.
If the way they've been playing still stays there, and we didn't even mention Rory or Jordan,
right,
or any other number. Louis Oosthuizen's playing well now.
Louis is playing really good.
A former Masters champion.
He's actually on my team right now. He's in the C list, and he is on my team right now. He is. Starting.
He's my starter in the C list. Absolutely.
Another guy in the C list that I have on the bench right now is Scott Brown. He's playing very well. Played very well at the Puerto Rican Open. Shot was 5 under one day, 6 under another. Played really well. So. I like him as well. I want to throw one name at you and just give me your thoughts. Jimmy Walker for this particular week. Isn't he a Texas guy?
Yeah, but it's usually this is the time of year where he starts fizzling out.
Yeah, it's amazing to him, and he's done it. He's fizzled out. I mean, I haven't heard from him, but I just like that he's a homer here a little bit, but he's not on any of my top 10s that I've made up. He
hasn't done anything spectacular at this event. I mean, he's made every cut that he's had. Every time he's played, he's made the cut, so he's going to score you points.
Right.
But his best finish is 24th.
Yeah.
You look at a guy like Tringali, like you said. Heinrich Stenson's in the field. And he's a wild card.
I think
in the C list.
The B list
or the B list.
The B list is the toughest list. I mean, there is a lot of guys in there that are currently playing really well, and from Koepka to Kevin Chappell and Harris English, Graham DeLette's in there, Patrick Reed in there, and I got him on my team right now. And my problem with Patrick is I've already used him 4 times.
Me too.
So I'm struggling with him, and I like him for a couple of the majors, a couple of the. Because he hits a straight ball, and I think that's going to bode well at Oakmont, and I think for some of the majors coming up. So I'm going to put myself in a position with Patrick if I continue. Currently, right now, I'm starting him this week, but I'll probably make a couple of changes.
Yeah, I like Harris English this week.
Me too. You know what? I like Harris English. The Masters is coming up. He comes to the Club every year. He comes to my club every year for the Hootie and the Blowfish Monday after the Masters. And he's come the last couple of years. So I really hope that he does well leading up to that. So he's a little happier when he shows up at this event. Some of the guys when they miss the cut at Augusta, they have to go do those pro-ams that they've committed to. They're not the happiest campers, but they all know it's for a good charity, so they show up smiling. But it's always good to see the guys playing well. Jim Furyk is always one. He comes to our club every year for the Hootie tournament, and the Heritage tournament he's won a couple times, and he feels like that when he shows up in Myrtle Beach. It's kind of his good luck charm. He plays well. Obviously, he's injured this year, but I still think there's a coalition there.
Might be
for these guys. Anyway, well, thank you for being on again, Brian. I really appreciate it. We might be remote next year, folks. Next week, folks. Just to let you know, we got the Hootie tournament coming up at my club, and obviously Masters Week, and I might have to go remote from my club. I'll sit right out at the veranda maybe, and on a beautiful afternoon and do the show from there. Brian, you're welcome to join me if you want, if that's doable. I haven't checked with our producer yet, so hopefully that's all doable. But I'm sure it is. This guy works amazing things, Jeff. Appreciate it. The man behind the glass. Folks, TGD Radio and TV are broadcast and produced by the Zeus Radio and Digital Network for thegolfdirector.com. Be sure to check out our featured golf course pages where you'll find up-to-date information about course conditions, specials, and much more. Need help with your next golf vacation, folks? Just call Dave. It's hashtag Just Call Dave. Phone number is 844-GO-GOLF1. That's 844-464-6531. All of our TGD programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. Just click on the TGD Radio and TGD TV tabs at the menu at thegolfdirector.com. You can find us over on 1 billion devices, including iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Blueberry, Periscope, Catch Me, many more. So check us out on that. My name is Jeff Deal. Brian, thank you for joining us as well.
Glad to be here, buddy.
Thank you again, folks. We'll have more TGD TV news and information, so stay tuned.